Hello and welcome everyone, Stormy Sensei here. Today we'll be playing Pokemon Sword. You've got quite a task in front of us. In 2 weeks, the Crown Tundra DLC releases. And we're not ready for it yet. We're still in the process of building our Isle of Armor DLC team, and we haven't finished. Which is a problem, because that means that we'll be that much more behind when it comes time to actually do the next thing. So expect some more Pokemon content in the near future. Welcome back, Snorlax. I don't think I have Tentacruel on the team anymore. I think I replaced him with Vaporeon. Let me see if I can find an Eevee. So those are my Eevees, but I think I need Yawn, right? What do I have on that team? Vaporeon's supposed to have Baton Pass, Aqua Ring, Acid Armor, Flip Turn. Aqua Ring gets a 35, Acid Armor at 45, Baton Pass is a TR, and then Flip Turn is a move tutor move. Okay, so nothing special about that Vaporeon, which is good. Means I can use one of these Eevees to breed. But that's for the Eevee when I get there. We're not there yet. We actually need to have Coalossal today. Coalossal is today's Pokemon. What's wrong with this? Why can't I just use this Pokemon? Oh, it has the wrong nature. Okay. So this guy is supposed to have Impish Nature. Yep, that's Impish. And I think I want the Destiny Knot on this. It's been a while since I've done competitive Pokemon team building. So what I'll do is I'll actually explain things as I'm doing it, which back in the day I didn't really do. I mean, I used to do it at the very beginning, but I've stopped doing it because I've done it so often So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a good nature. Impish Nature means that they have more defense than usual and less special attack than usual. So that red in the defense means that you get a 10% increase to your base stat points, and the blue in the special attack means you have a minus 10% in that base stat point. And so this Coalossal has the wrong nature for that. So we're going to try to transfer, we're going to try to get a Pokemon that has these stats, best, but this nature. In order to do that, I'm going to use an Everstone, which makes sure that this Pokemon passes down the nature to the next offspring, and give this Pokemon a Destiny Knot, which doesn't really help me that much because this Pokemon is so bad, but it will make sure that 5 of the 6 chosen IVs come from among the 12 individual values from the parents. Individual values are just like your Pokemon's potential. You want best most of the time, and occasionally you can make do with fantastic, or sometimes it's competitively viable to go with no good even. But it really just depends on what you're going for. Like if you wanted a really slow Pokemon so that you could play with them in Trick Room, then you would go with like, no good speed. Or if you had a special attacker and you didn't want to take damage from foul play, you might want to do no good and attack. That's all like really advanced stuff though, and it actually takes a really long time to do. So I just make do with 6 IV, 5 IV. So the first step is to get a Roly-Coly with the right nature. And let me look at my power set here. Stone Edge, Fire Punch, Body Press, Earthquake. I need to make sure that none of these are actually egg moves, because then I actually have extra steps that I need to take. So, Fire Punch is the TM. Earthquake is the TR. Yeah, TR only. Body Press is a TR, I know. And then, what was the last one? Some other attack. Stone Edge. Wow. Stone Edge is TR as well. Okay. So, nothing important here, so we're actually done with this nursery. That was easy. Have I constructed a Trick Room team? So, I built a team that could work in Trick Room. I do have Trick Room on this team, I think. Actually, I don't have Trick Room on this team at all. There's no Pokemon on here that has Trick Room. But, it should be fine even without Trick Room. I built a team of like ultra bulky, crazy Pokemon. If I were to put Trick Room on this team, I would probably replace Snorlax with Hatterene. I don't necessarily want to do that because Snorlax was the first Pokemon that I built, and I kind of want to keep Snorlax around, but if I'm completely honest, Snorlax would be the underperformer on a team on this team that's coming up. But I'd rather lose with the Pokemon I like than win with the better team. What do you do with the team you've built? Are you active in Pokemon tournaments? Right before the pandemic hit, I was starting to think about getting involved with local Pokemon tournaments. But also, mostly just to battle you guys, the viewers. This is the first game in which I've decided to build competitive teams. because usually, you know, I just basically catch whatever is close by. I complete as much of the Pokedex as is, you know, convenient for me. I get my team of legendaries, and then I beat the game, complete all the content in single player. And then usually I don't actually have access to multiplayer. This is the, you know, with this being the first game with online that I've owned. Because the last game that I played in the series was Pokemon Diamond. This is the first time that I've gotten the chance to actually fight against other people. As far as tournaments, I've actually competed in like a couple of Wi-Fi tournaments, like super small, like 5-person tournaments by this streamer Bad Kitty. And in the future, I think that there is a chance that I will actually have tournament series on this channel. Like, I'm kind of working in the background to like have, you know, monthly or maybe weekly tournament events for Smash. And then, like, if I were to have weeklies for Smash, then I would choose one of those weeks and instead make it Pokemon instead. Alright, Steam Engine, 2 IVs, Correct Nature. So that's pretty good. 2 IVs is better than 0 and better than 1, so that's good. Yeah, things like, you know, lag tests and things like that are kind of... I mean, if I were to do a tournament, I would probably have it in the rules where, like, you just play it out no matter how bad the lag is. If your opponent disconnects, then they forfeit a game. Just because, like, I don't want to have to actually be active during the tournament sets. Like, I think that for the first couple of weeks, I would actually, you know, participate and stream it. But then after a while, I would like for it to be able to just run on its own. Like, you just sign up. All the tournaments are scheduled ahead of time. And then, you know, you just have challenge do everything for you with the auto disqualifies and things like that. Because it's just too much to actually every single week have a multiple hour event in addition to me actually wanting to play the game myself. I won first place in Lightning's Gym Challenge. Nice. I actually only ever participated once and got 1 gym badge. I think that, you know, the rules for that tournament were kind of weird because, like, you weren't allowed to use Dynamax. But I think that, you know, the Pokemon that I like to use are kind of, like, benefited from that. So what I ended up using against Lightning's team, I just basically used my Appleton and swept the whole team. Because it's like, you got Appleton, who's already a monster. One of my favorite Pokemon that I've built. Max Defense, Max HP, Ripen, and Keyberry. So you're already at max defense. Oops. And then you add on a Keyberry on top of that, and then turn 1 you use Amnesia, and you're just not going to die. And then you can use Recover, and like Dragon Pulse and Apple Acid. Apple Acid is broken. It lowers their special defense stats by 1, so every single time you hit them is going to do more damage than the last time. It's a non-contact move. Not many things resist grass, and even the things that resist grass, like I took out a Ferrothorn with this. It only took like 4 of these. 10 power points is kind of low, but I'll end up using a PP max to max everything out once I'm done with the whole team. But, you know, Pokemon like this loses to things like, you know, Toxic, or actually using a Dynamax move to lower their stats or to increase your own stats. And also being able to live, having twice as much HP. So I'm glad that Dynamax is actually in the game. It allows you to like not get swept by crazy Pokemon builds. Alright, so now we're at the second part of all of this. We now have the Roly-Coly with the proper nature, and within the within this box we actually have a Ditto with the Destiny Knot. So as I mentioned before, the Destiny Knot lets you keep some of the stats from the parents. It's a 6 IV Ditto, and this is a 2 IV Roly-Coly. So we're out of this. You know, we could get super unlucky. They could choose 5. They could choose like HP, attack, special defense, and speed from this Pokemon, and then like something from the other Pokemon, and then the 6th one is random. So we could end up with a 1 IV Pokemon, but we could end up with a 6 IV Pokemon immediately from here. But here's hoping that we get something good. Oh yeah, and we need to go to a box that we don't mind filling up with trash. Because we're gonna possibly breed, like, we could be breeding here for like another hour if we get unlucky. Hey there, Links and Stubbs. Hey there, HF. And Jellyfish loves you. I have a hyper-trained shiny Pichu as the first Pokemon on my party. Hey, I mean, I said earlier, I'd rather lose with my favorites than win with stronger Pokemon. Like, I'm still going around using things like Shedinja and like Articuno, even though Stealth Rocks still exist. I'm also too lazy to hyper train. I probably should hyper train from time to time, but I'd rather just breed the Pokemon to begin with the right stats. It's just so much easier. Well, it's not so much easier, but it just takes so much fewer resources. Now, the big time streamers and like competitors, like Wolf Glick and like Cybertron and things like that, A-Drive, if they wanted a team, they would just go to their Discord and say, hey, who has this Pokemon? And then like some kind soul within their community would be like, oh yeah, here's that Pokemon. It has all the Eevees you need, it has all the IVs you need. Or maybe they won't Eevee train it, but maybe they'll have the right IVs, and maybe they'll have the right nature and the right move pool if it has an egg move. Man, that's good. I just tried a Pure Leaf extra sweet tea for the first time. I was actually honestly surprised because usually Pure Leaf is known for like using natural ingredients and whatnot. So usually their teas are kind of bland. Like if you drink their regular black tea, their lemon black tea, and their green teas and things like that, all of them taste like basically, you know, water. But this one is actually sweet, unlike their sweet tea, which doesn't actually taste very sweet. Alright, our first egg. Let's take a look at it. Did we get lucky? Steam Engine 4 IV. That was really good, actually. We're going to immediately swap out our 2 IV Roly-Coly with this one. And the reason for that is, with the 2 IV Roly-Coly, the minimum number of max IVs we'll have is 1. And the max is like 6, obviously. But you're going to average out probably like 3 or 4. with a 4 IV Pokemon, you're like way better off, because if I have a 6 IV Ditto in the box, then like that means that I'm guaranteed to get at least a 4 IV every single time Pokemon. And if we're lucky, and we should get lucky very soon, we'll get a 5 IV Pokemon. And then you just keep on churning out 5 IV Pokemon until you end up with a 6 IV. Well, you don't have to have a 6 IV. Like, if I were to get Special Attack as my minus, then, like, if I were to get no good Special Attack, that'd be fine. And even Speed wouldn't be that bad, because we have Steam Engine. We're about to multiply our Speed times 4, which will allow us to outspeed everything anyway. So not too worried about the speed stat too much. But what's most important is that with HP, attack, defense, and special defense are all at their max. Because we're going to be using an Assault Vest, which increases our special attack, or our special defense by 50%. So if you had 50 special defense, then it would raise it to 75. But if you had, so that's an increase of 25. But if you have 100, then it raises up to 150, which is an increase of 50. So the more you have in your regular special defense, the more the Assault Vest actually helps. Sometimes I don't do any investment at all in special defense, and then I just let the Assault Vest just multiply it naturally, and then put all my points into defense. But sometimes it's better to like actually invest all the way into special defense, and then just get even more with your with the Assault Vest. Yeah, this should be super tanky by the time we're done. We're going to end up having a visible stat point of 132, and then when we have the Assault Vest, it'll actually increase up to 198. 198 special defense. So it'll actually be even more especially defensive than its defense, even though it has 120 base defense and a plus defense nature. And that's pretty good. Those are pretty good stats. That's better than my Appleton. That's better than... It's actually the tankiest thing on my party. It's even tankier than... Okay, it's not as tanky as Tangrowth, but it's tankier than my Snorlax even, which up until now has been like super unkillable. So yeah, that's all that I'm explaining things as I go along. Oh, I should not keep that around. I have all these thick fat Snorlaxes, and then the one that ended up being good ended up being immunity. We're gonna, finally use an ability capsule. I don't really like using ability capsules. I like to usually just keep on breeding until I get the right nature and ability. But that's okay. I don't mind. Oops. You can see the other types of Pokemon that I've been trying to breed. Like we had some Palisandres we're trying to get, some Tangrowths we're trying to get. For a while, Tentacruel was on the team, but I eventually replaced it with Vaporeon. Some Greedents, not on this team, but at one of the drafts had a Greedent on the team. But I eventually just used Snorlax. I didn't want to have 2 normal types on the team. Alright, so now we have a 4 IV Roly-Coly in the daycare. It's got the Everstone. Alright, so that's good. So we'll swap them out when we get a 5 IV, or when we get... well, we'll either swap them out when we get 5 IV. It could be the case that 5 IV that we get ends up being like good enough, and we don't bother wasting more time because we have a lot of time to spend here. or we could just get a 6 IV and then be like, alright, that's good enough. Also, now that I think about it, it's been a while since I've done my breeding on stream as well. For a while I did my breeding off stream, and then did my Eevee training on stream. But since I have so much work to do, I don't mind just doing all of it here. Actually, I've kind of stopped playing Pokemon off stream. The reason for that is, like, my wife kind of started getting into Animal Crossing. So a lot of my off-stream time where I normally would be playing at night after the stream has been taken up by Animal Crossing. And more recently than that, because actually my wife hasn't really been playing too much Animal Crossing recently, I've been getting into the current playthrough for non-viewer games is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And that game, we play it for like 5 hours each session, going from like 10 p.m. until like 3 a.m. on like an almost nightly basis. So there's like actually no time to play anything after the stream. Pretty much all I ever do is just like finish that stream and then go watch Pika play through some more Pokemon Blue. 4, 2. Alright, so none of these are that great. Starting now, they're all going to be great. So in like 2 weeks, Crown Tundra DLC comes out. I, for one, am super excited. Articuno is coming back, and Absol are coming back. Those are two of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Like, I remember when I first saw Absol, the disaster Pokemon, right outside of the jungle city in Pokemon Sapphire. And I was like, whoa, that Pokemon is so cool. And I put it on my team, and it was so weak, but it was so cool that I kept it around anyway. It's such a weak Pokemon. It's actually really terrible. But I'm going to definitely use it anyway, because I'm crazy. Can't stress it enough. It's better to just lose with your favorites. There's a lot of roly-colies here. Alright, let's see if we're done. 2 4 IV. So neither of those are going to cut it. This team is only possible because of the Isle of Armor DLC's Dynamax Soup. Normally I would have to just catch a Gmax Coalossal and then just kind of like hope that it's already good enough, or like hyper train it. Oh, whoops. Alright, so we've checked out 2 so far. But now, thanks to the DLC, I can actually take a Pokemon that's in its regular form and then Gigantamax it. So instead of using my Dynamax move, which I'm pretty sure creates a Sandstorm, I would instead use my Gigantamax move, which would deal damage to non-rock types on the field for the next several turns. Oh, that's pretty good. But it's still only 4 IV. I like that it has HP as one of its stats, though. But we kind of need attack to be pretty good as well. Is my Coalossal even doing damage? My Coalossal is not really a damager. But it's got body press, though. So even though it is a Gmax Pokemon, I might not be using it to Gmax. Oh, it's into the box. Whoa, 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 hold up. How did that happen? When did I change that setting? Oh yeah, that makes sense. Because when I was actually on the Isle of Armor, I was actually catching Pokemon. And that's when you actually just want to automatically send them to the box. But now that I'm breeding, I want to swap them out. My favorite Pokemon are Venusaur, Concelder, and Scorbunny. Scorbunny is pretty nice. If you happen to like Cinderace, then that's actually a pretty good team right there. Like having Cinderace, Concelder, and Venusaur on a team together make for some pretty nice combinations. Hey there, Beans. Ooh, excellent. We're done. Steam engine, proper nature. Speed's not that great, but that's okay. On to the next part, Eevee Training. I have no way of getting Venusaur? Yeah, you do. You can trade with me. And you can trade with me for Concelder as well. I know you have him online, we play Smash together. I have so many, like look, here's the Bulbasaur right here. You can just get that from the Isle of Armor DLC, but I also have like other Bulbasaur as well. Look, I have practically a whole box of them. And I don't know why this is in my starters box. I'd probably trade it for some of these or something like that. The beautiful thing about Pokemon is that it's difficult for one person to do anything in the game, but because of the power of trading, like, it's so easy for a group of people to do like a lot of stuff. Like, I have all these Pokemon that I'm never going to use any of these Pokemon ever, because like I already have I have like a better version of all of these. So like if you go into my actual battle box, you see that I actually built a Concelder, and it's like, you know, best in all stats, decent special attack, whatever. So all these Timbers and Concelders that I have and all these other boxes, they're just useless. They're just like Pokemon that I bred along the way to getting a better Concelder. Same with the Venusaurs. I have a Venusaur. I think I have 2 Venusaurs actually. Nope, just 1. I built 2 Venusaurs, but yeah, I have one that I built. So I don't need any others. And, you know, it's true for me. So, like, you could get all these Pokemon you wanted from me. But you could also go to pretty much any streamer and just, like, ask them. Or not, you don't ask them because they're probably busy doing whatever they're doing. I mean, you could ask them and then you know, they'll say, yeah, sure, or no, I'm busy doing this other thing. But like more than likely, the type of people that watch Pokemon streams are the type of people that will gladly trade you for those. I was thinking I needed to have the older Pokemon games. Well, so Bulbasaur, you get if you have the DLC. So you'd have to buy the Isle of Armor, I guess, if you wanted to get Bulbasaur. Charizard you get, or Charmander you get at the end of the game, of like the base game, by going to Hop's house and going upstairs. And then after you beat the Isle of Armor DLC, you get to choose between Squirtle or Venusaur. I guess you can also choose Charmander, but like why would you? Because it doesn't make any sense. So I chose Bulbasaur. And then also there was an event where all the raid dens had all the starters. Not all of the raid dens, but like each raid den has a chance of having one of the starters. So like you could, you know, catch hidden abilities for Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. And I think that's where this box was filled up from, all of my starter boxes. Because some of these should be chlorophyll. None of them are chlorophyll. Okay, well, I had a chlorophyll Venusaur at some point in time. One of these should be Rain Dish, right? Yeah, here's my Rain Dish War Turtle. And then Charmanders I keep in a different place, I guess, because they're so common. Now, these Pokemon, Rowlet, Poplio, and Litten, those are kind of difficult to get. You actually have to trade for those because you can't get them at all in this game. So you can surprise trade and hope that someone is just like building Incineroar because it's such a good Pokemon, so they just throw away all their bad Littens. Or just like trade with somebody. And then once you get one of them, you can breed and have a whole bunch of them. So like I only had one Rowlet. I made a bunch of them in the process of making my Decidueye, which is over here somewhere. Oh, thanks, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a knife and fork, please?
Yeah, this one isn't as goopy. You can pick it up.
Okay.
But I can still give you a knife and fork if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd like, because I don't want to touch my controller with food hands.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, dear. Where was I? Oh yeah, so yeah, the Pokemon, difficult to get the first one, very easy to get more. And the answer is yes, Leon does give you a Charmander once you beat him, but not directly. You actually have to go to Hop's house and talk to the Pokeball at the top of the stairs. Say hi to Mrs. Sensei for me, will do. When she gets back. She was kind enough to bring me some lunch. Oh yeah, that's what I started with. Okay. So make sure that none of these have an item because I don't want to throw away Everstones and Destiny Knots. So that's all done. Next step is Eevee Training. First we're going to finish hatching these other two eggs. There's a chance that one of them is even better than what I currently have. Not too bad. We got the right nature and IVs within 40 minutes. And I even took the time to like explain stuff along the way as well. And chat says hello to you, by the way.
Hi, chat.
Are any legendaries competitively viable? Well, okay, so in ranked mode, the only legendary you're allowed to use is Urshifu. And he is pretty competitively viable. For other games, or for other formats like official online tournaments and things like that, most legendaries are not allowed. So you wouldn't be able to use Eternatus, Ascian, Zamazenta, things like that. Not this year, at least. So if you look back over the history of VGC, which is the official 2v2 format for Pokemon tournaments, they usually have a year where you're only allowed to use Pokemon from the game that's out that year. So like you're only allowed to use the base Pokedex for Sun and Moon, or you're only allowed to use the base Pokedex for Sword and Shield. And then, like, as they keep on adding new things, then, oh wait, that's the one that's already good. Alright. So then, eventually, the game, or the competition, allows a rule set called, what do they call it? They call it restricted format, which means you're allowed to bring one or maybe two otherwise restricted Pokemon. So at the end of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, you'd be allowed to bring things like Mega Rayquaza or Lunala or Primal Groudon and things like that, Cresselia, Xerneas. And almost all of the legendaries are very, very competitive, competitively viable. They're all illegal right now, but I think that in the near future they will all be legal. At least you'll be able to bring like one or two of them into a match at once. But mythicals are actually never allowed. So like you're never allowed to use Mew or Celebi or Jirachi, Fione, things like that. Granted, mythicals are usually weaker than legendaries anyway. It's just that it's like usually there's no legal way to get a lot of those outside of just attending events. So it's better just like ban them anyway. So now's the next part. Alright, so I'm gonna have to share my screen for this next part, probably. There's that scene. Alright. So you should be able to hear me. Yep, you're able to hear me and you're able to see my Firefox here. A disabled performance one, so I see what you see. Alright, excellent. Perfect. So this is the build that we're working towards. Max HP, 84 defense, 172 special defense. So if you check out, let me pull up an example here. So I got this Gengar and I have this Gengar. They're around the same level, 70 versus 75, but you can see that their stats aren't quite the same. Like, this Gengar is level 75 and has 198 HP, but this weaker Gengar actually has more HP. What's up with that? Their defenses are a little different. Let's see. That's kind of the main point that I wanted to come across, or put across. So, this Gengar put all of their points into HP and special attack. This Gengar put all of their points into speed and special attack. And so that's why their stat points come out differently. You can see that this Gengar is like way, way, way faster. 160 speed. You don't gain like 80 points of speed from 5 levels. It all comes down to your build. By the way, don't build a Gengar like this. This is a mistake. I thought that this would work out. It doesn't. This is a terrible, terrible idea, and this Gengar is practically useless. Oh, darn it. You didn't see any of that, actually, because I forgot to switch back. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, so I have these two Gengars, 70 and 75. And you look at their stats, and this weaker Gengar has 180 speed and 229 HP. This stronger, quote-unquote, Gengar has 198 HP, but 260 speed. And if you look at their actual stat distribution, it comes down to where I put my points. So this Gengar put all into speed, and also a speed nature, and this Gengar went into HP and special attack with a special attack nature. Whoops, didn't want to exit out of that. And so you can see that, you know, even two similar Pokemon with a lot of other similarities end up being very different. Like 80 additional points of speed is a lot. It's like a whole lot of speed difference. But turns out 30 extra HP is actually not very much of a difference. Which is why I was saying that this Gengar, the one that I built for HP and special attack, is not a good idea. Don't do it. Gengar is a glass cannon, and I thought that I could overcome his weakness by just building him differently, so that he could take a hit and then attack twice, because Gengar is naturally speedy, so I was like, alright, well I won't invest in speed, he's naturally speedy, he'll probably outspeed most things anyway, and then he'll be able to attack twice instead of just once. But what ends up happening is most people have a speedy Pokemon on their lead, and so they use their speedy Pokemon to attack Gengar, and Gengar is super frail, so he usually dies, and then he doesn't attack twice anyway. So it's just a waste of a slot. Fastest way to level up Pokemon? The fastest way to level up Pokemon... Well, that's a complicated question, because, like I said, the point distribution that you put is really important. So you don't necessarily want to just fight the strongest Pokemon that you can find, because because those Pokemon will give you stat points, and you want to build your Pokemon specifically. So you want to find a Pokemon that gives you the stat points that you want, so that you can actually end up with the proper stats at the end of the game. Also, levels don't really matter, because when you play on ranked, every Pokemon gets standardized or normalized to level 50. So even if you go in with a level 6 Pokemon and you're in ranked mode, you're going to be playing at level 50 as though you leveled yourself up to level 50. Even if you get all the way to level 100, you're going to be fighting as though you're level 50. So the only thing that really matters is your moveset and your stat point allocation when it comes to competitive Pokemon. Levels don't really matter. Now, if you're not talking about ranked, then the fastest way to level up is just to go to the Elite Four. Put your Pokemon in the back, because, you know, automatic EXP share is on, and then just like get a whole bunch of strong Pokemon on your team, and then just rip through the Elite Four at the champion, because they're the highest level Pokemon that you're going to fight. That was actually this one here. They're the highest level Pokemon. You have a chance of fighting against Zacian or Zamazenta, depending on your box, which has a lot of HP. You know, it's pretty fast that way. Another good way of doing it, but is limited by how much you grind for it, is using EXP candy. Where is my EXP candy? Did I use it all up? Oh, here it is. So here's my EXP candy that you get from raid battles as a reward for winning. So I could probably level up this Roly-Coly to level 100 right now. Yeah, if I'd used 106, I would go to level 100. But I don't want to do that right now. So that's actually the fastest way. But, you know, using up 106 candies is a lot. Like, you only have a limited amount of those before you have to go back into raid battles. Alright, now back to by talking about the stat distribution. Because in addition to actually doing the competitive building, I'm going to use this as like my tutorial for how to build competitively. So this is PokemonShowdown.com. I don't actually use it to play because I like to use the actual game for this. But you can basically build out a Pokemon within this and then use it as a reference for when you're actually building it in the game. So we're going to have max HP by the time we're done. We already have the plus defense nature and the minus special attack nature. 84 defense and 172 special defense. So let me think here. 172 is not divisible by 8. No, it is not. Is it divisible by 9? No, it is not. What about 84? 84 is not divisible by 8 or 9, but it's pretty close. It's 81 is 9 times 9, and then I would need 3 more for the defense. Okay, so I already have a plan for how we're going to get these stat points. Back to the game. Alright, so am I at the right place for this? No. Some pretty important items that you're going to want to get when you're training your Pokemon. You're going to go to Hammerlock's BP station, which is in this Pokemon Center. And you talk to this person here. These power items are incredible. So typically, every Pokemon in the game has a stat allocation that they give you. So if I were to go out and fight against a Squabbit right now, which is the little squirrel Pokemon from the first area, that would give me 1 HP point. 1 HP point is like not very much, and I want 252 of those. So it would be really cumbersome for me to actually fight 252 Squabbits in order to get max HP. But if I equip the power anklet, no, not the power anklet, it's the power weight. If I were to equip the power weight, every Squabbit would give me their 1 point, but then I would also get 8 points of HP allocation for every Squabbit that I fight. So then that means that every Squabbit that I fight is actually giving me 9, which is a lot better. Same with defense, which is what we're going for here. Defense is 84 that we're trying to go for, and I think it's the power belt for that. Yeah, so the power belt, I would be fighting Roly-Coly. I would defeat 9 of them. 9 times 9, 81. And then I would unequip the power belt and defeat 3 more Roly-Coly. That gives me 84. And then the rest would go into special defense, which you would get from Nickit. Nickit is what you would use for special defense. So I'll just go ahead and do the rest of them. If you want speed, you fight Zigzagoon and Rookidee. And for attack, you would fight Choodle. And the reason why I'm choosing these Pokemon in particular is because they're super weak. You can just defeat them in 1 attack. And then you can use the number of attacks you've used so far to count how many more you need to defeat. The only problem is special attack. There is no... I mean, Blipbug is what you would use for that, but you can't see it in the overworld. You have to dig through the tall grass and have a random encounter, and it might not be Blipbug. So I really don't like training special attack. So usually what I do for that then is I go into your Pokejobs, and then I put the Pokemon into the special attack seminar. So for every hour that you send your Pokemon here, you get 4 points into that stat. So if I were to put them in for 1 hour, which is the very minimum point, let me find a Pokemon that's already maxed out. So I could put them into an hour, which is just a little. That'll give me 4 points. Very short, which is 2 hours. Short, which is 3 hours. Long is 4 hours. Very long is 8 hours. Half a day is obviously 12 hours, and a whole day is 24 hours. And so it's just however many hours times 4. And then on top of that, if you give them the power item that you care about, then they also get the 8. So if you put them in for 1 hour, instead of getting 4 points of stats, they actually get 12 points of stats. I knew Pokemon was way deeper than a casual viewpoint, but wow. Yeah, so these are the basics of like training competitive Pokemon. But I haven't even gotten into like egg moves, and actually really that's the only thing that I haven't really talked about. Everything, like I've went over natures. I've gone over, well, I didn't really go over it, but I guess here's an example of Eevees. So here we have 2 Gengar that are about the same level. Neither of them have any stat points into their attack, but this one has best attack Eevees, and this one has very good attack Eevees. And you can see that they have almost the same attack stat, even though this one's 5 levels lower. I could probably find a better example than this. Here's another Gengar. Oh, this one's level 79 actually, and has like kind of bad stats actually. So let's put this one next to these other Gengar as well. So 197 at level 79 versus 198, already more HP, even though it didn't put any HP point allocation into. 127 attack, which is surprisingly high. Is this actually trained for attack? It is not. Am I missing something? Oh yeah, these are minus attack natures. Yeah, so that actually shows you exactly how much of a difference it is. 127 versus 105, 109. Where do you find Ditto? Ditto, I get my Ditto from Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, because that's the best way to get them. But if you want Ditto in this game, there are 2 places for it. You can find Ditto... Oops, I want to the Pokedex actually. Or are there 3 places for it? I think there are 3 places for it. I could also just trade you one. Oh wait, what? Oh. It doesn't tell me what the max number is though. Okay. So this is where you find Ditto. At all times of the day, apparently. Or all types of weather, I should say. It's kind of rare though. I don't think I've ever seen it. It also it's kind of small. It's like walking around in the grass. But outside of here, outside of the nursery, if you use wishing pieces in the Pokemon den that's closest to here, if you use wishing pieces at this den, it's a Ditto. If you get a rare, one. So those Dittos are usually better because they're usually like 4 IVs instead of like usually 0 IVs is what you find out in the wild. You could also just trade for one. So these 2 Dittos I have up for grabs. I need all these Dittos. I have a Ditto of each nature. Not each nature, but like all the good ones. So this one is plus attack minus special attack. This one's plus defense minus special attack. Plus special defense minus special attack, and plus speed. And then this is all the same but for attack. And the reason for that is because, you know, the first step is to get the Pokemon you want. The second step is to get whatever egg moves you want onto it, which usually can be its own huge thing. I haven't talked about that yet. Let's see if I have a... Do I have a Pokemon where I need an egg move on it? My Tangrowth needs an egg move, but I think I already have the Tangela that I need, though. Yeah. Let's see what else. No, that's it. I think I'm already done with everything that needs an egg move. Well, I guess I'll just take some time to explain egg moves, because I guess this will be the competitive Pokemon guide stream. So take a look at Snorlax. This Snorlax at level 1 knows Curse. If you look up Snorlax in Cerebi.net, which I'll just go ahead and put in the chat. Oops. That's not how you spell net. So that's Cerebi.net. In fact, I'm just going to show it here. And this is what I use for all of my information. So we're going to look up Snorlax through this Pokemon Dex. And Snorlax does not learn Curse. He learns Recycle, Covet, Stockpile, all this stuff here. There's not going to be a Curse here. Also, there's no TM for Curse either. And there's no TR for Curse either. So how does the Snorlax that I have know Curse? Well, there's this other thing called egg moves. If you take a female of the Pokemon that you want, and you breed it with a male that has the egg move that you want, then the egg that comes out of it will end up being a Pokemon that has that egg move. So what I had to do is I had to find an Avalugg, which is a different Pokemon. Oops, nope, that's not what I wanted to click. I wanted to click on the other button there. Details. So Avalugg learns Curse through level up. So I had to find a male Avalugg, level it up until it knew Curse, get a female Snorlax, which sometimes that's its own pain. Like sometimes you only have the male version, you need to keep on breeding it until you get a female. So you got female and male. This one knows Curse. You breed them, and now you have a Snorlax that knows Curse, which is good. Now, as with everything, it's difficult to get the first one, but once you get the first one, it's very easy to get more of them, because now you have a Snorlax that has Curse, and every Snorlax that you breed with using that Snorlax will also know Curse, because Curse is an egg move. So you can take a Ditto and a Snorlax that knows Curse, breed them together, and now you have a Snorlax that knows Curse. And that's egg moves in general. Simple stuff. Hey there, Zip. How's it going? Want to battle? Is there anyone in chat that wants to battle, Zip? Right now I'm still doing my educational stream thing. But after I'm done Eevee training my Roly-Coly, which is the last thing that I need to do, then I will gladly battle you, because then I'll have taught everything that I know about building a competitive Pokemon. And then the rest of the stream can just be, battling with you guys and having fun. Alright, so as I mentioned before, we need to fight Roly-Coly here. We need to defeat 9 of them. Counting is like super important for like all this stuff, because losing stats is actually way harder than gaining stats. Like you need to use certain berries in order to lose stat points. You don't even lose that many of them. You only lose 10 at a time. And given that the max is 252, This one time I accidentally trained my my Gengar using HP instead of speed. I forget what exactly I messed up, but I keep on... Alright, so now I understand why I keep on pressing the X button in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to open up the menu, is because that's what you do in most RPGs. And every time I press the plus button in Pokemon, it's because that's what you use to open the menu in Xenoblade Chronicles. Alright, so this Pokemon needs to be carrying the Power Belt. And make sure to read. So defense up. We're going to get 84 of these stat points here. And now for the training Pokemon. Coalossal could do it, but he doesn't need to. Coalossal I use for Flame Body. So this ability, Flame Body, cuts the time it takes for you to hatch an egg in half. So I always keep a Flame Body, Coalossal I mean, in my breed box because I always need it. Thievul I use because it has Runaway. So any Pokemon that you want to fight, if it's the wrong type of Pokemon, you just run away from it, no problem. But for training, we're going to use something else here. We're going to use a Pokemon with 100% accurate moves. So these are Roly-Colies here, and I need to defeat 9 of them. Drain Punch has 9, or has 10 power points, so that's what we're going to use. Oh wait, hold up. I need to double check. Alright, so Thievul actually has Pokerus, but he's not contagious. I didn't talk about Pokerus. Pokerus is... So you know how I was talking about how Squabbit gives 1 point of stats, and if you use a power item, then it gives 9 points of stats? Pokerus is a virus that your Pokemon can contract that increases their stat growth. So instead of getting 1 power point, or getting 1 effort point for defeating Squabbit, you get 2. And if you have the power weight equipped, instead of having 9, you actually get 18. So if you're in a rush and the stat points that you want to get are like, multiples of 18 or multiples of 2, then you can use Pokerus to cut the number of fights that you need to do in half. So instead of doing, 20, instead of doing 17, or no, it's 8, instead of doing 18, you only have to do 9. But I don't always like using Pokerus because sometimes it's easier to get multiples of 9 than it is to get multiples of 18. So we're actually not going to do that here either. We don't need Pokerus. Pokerus is actually even more rare than a shiny Pokemon, by the way. You probably don't have it if you haven't been looking for it. But as with everything in Pokemon, you can just trade for it. So once you have a Pokemon that has Pokerus, there's two statuses of it. This is a Pokemon that's recovered from Pokerus, which means they can no longer pass it on to another Pokemon. It doesn't have the spikes at the end. I'm talking about the red dot, by the way, in the right next to their typing. So they have this red dot, means that they had Pokerus at some point in time. They no longer have it. But my Aegislash still can infect other Pokemon with it. And the way that you infect other Pokemon with it is you just fight wild Pokemon that either have Pokerus, or you fight wild Pokemon while one of the Pokemon in your party also has Pokerus. Also, when you have the Pokemon in your party that have Pokerus, they spread it to Pokemon that are next to them. So, for example, if I were to put Venusaur, like here, then Venusaur would infect Roly-Poly and Dracovish before they infected Concelder. That's kind of unimportant, but like it's just how it works. And the last thing that I have to say is, if you have a Pokemon with Pokerus and it has the spikes here, spread it out to like a whole box of Pokemon, because once it wears off, you can't get it again. So I have my Pokerus box out here. So all these Pokemon are infected. So if I wanted to trade with somebody that that needed Pokerus, then I can just give them one of these. And then keep the Pokemon in your box when they have Pokerus. Don't take them out unless you're trying to spread them. If you're trying to spread Pokerus, then put them in your party. And if you're trying to actually Eevee train your Pokemon, keep them in your party. But otherwise, put them in the box, because every second that they're in the party, the timer ticks down, and then they can run out of Pokerus, and then they will no longer be able to spread it. And that's everything I have to say about Pokerus. That would have been pretty important to cover. Alright, so now we're actually going to do the Eevee training thing. This is actually kind of the most boring part, because it's just literally defeating like 20 or more Pokemon with the same move. But every time you do it, your Pokemon gets stronger. I mean, that one got stronger because of the levels, but as I mentioned before, levels don't matter for competitive, just their stats. I think that by the time I'm done with training this Roly-Poly, I think that I Like Pies will be ready for Timber to evolve, and we can trade. Actually, probably already, because you said that you evolved, your Timber went up a couple of levels already. So it should already be a Girder by now, maybe. Alright. I'm gonna keep on saying this over and over again, but like, it's really important to count the number of Pokemon that you've knocked out. I used to use a command to count the number of Pokemon that I defeated, but chat got kind of annoyed with me doing it, because like, it is kind of annoying. So that's when I switched to the method of using the remaining power points for a move to see how many I have left. I know I'm done when I'm down to one Drain Punch. Welcome newcomers to the stream. Today was just going to be like a casual, I'm going to make this Roly-Poly real quick, but then it turned into like kind of a here's how to build competitive Pokemon stream. From start to finish, I've basically talked about everything that you could possibly want to do when it comes to breeding a Pokemon to be competitively viable. We're down to the last point, which is the Eevee training, which unfortunately is the boring part. But if you rewind to the stream, I go over some pretty important stuff from time to time. Maybe I'll edit it down so that you don't see as much stuff in the final video that I upload. I only understood like 20% of it. I mean, that's okay. You understood 20% of it, which means that, you know, if you rewatch it for one thing, you'll understand more of it. And then if you actually were to take a Pokemon of your own that you want, and you were to copy my strategy, just like, alright, first do this, next do that, then you would already have a Pokemon, and then you would, you'd have a Pokemon and you would know how to do it. I gotta tell you, the first stream that I did, where I did all this stuff, like I looked up the videos ahead of time and like knew what I needed to do, and then I did it on stream. It took 3 hours. It took 3 hours for me to do all this stuff the first time I did it. But now, if I were actually trying and like not talking to chat and like explaining everything along the way and like cutting over to Therapy and Showdown, I know this because I've actually done it before. I could do this all in like 30 minutes if I wanted to. Doesn't take that long. The only thing is like you could get unlucky with the breeding. That's the thing that takes the longest amount of time. Alright, this is the last Roly-Coly with the power belt. Let's take a look at our progress so far. Look at that little spike there. So in a Pokemon that's like... let me find a Pokemon that's not trained at all, actually, so I can compare the two. So when you go into your box, and you like find your Pokemon... Regenerator, Slowpoke. I should totally make a Slowbro. So it starts with this little circle here, in this area map. But if you train it, then it kind of shows you... Oh, I should have told you what button to press. You press the X button. So this is the actual number of stats. The purple area is their actual stat number. If you press the X button while you're on the screen, then you see their base stats in the big light yellow area. And then the effort point stats, the stat allocation, is actually in the solid yellow area. For a Pokemon that's almost done being built, it'll look something like... I think I have one of them in here. It'll look like this. So if you have max stats, then the stat area will glow and sparkle like this. So I'm max HP right now, but I haven't completed my... like all of the stuff that I could possibly have. But when it's complete and you've actually allocated all the stats you possibly can, and the Pokemon can get no stronger from stat point allocate or stat growth, then now it turns into this blue bar. Now, you don't have to max out 2 stats like that. You could kind of like spread them all around. Let me find a Pokemon that I did that with. I think that my Golurk is kind of a mixed spread. Okay, so this is max attack and then split special defense and defense. I guess I don't have one where like I maxed it out, but like didn't put it all into, didn't max out as single stat, but you get the idea. So now I get rid of the power belt here. I'm at 81 stats right now for defense, and I need 84, so we're going to defeat 3 more of these. Roly-Coly gives 1 defense stat point. I actually really like the training defense because Roly-Coly is the only thing that shows up in this grass here. You'll see when I go to train HP that is kind of annoying to do because you know, sometimes Pokemon don't like to show up. That was 2, right? So if I'm at 27, then I need to run, and if I'm at 28, then I need to attack. Alright, we're done with defense. I could have been a little more efficient with that, actually. Alright, so I'm going to explain what I should have done. So when we're done with defense, we're going to move on to HP, and we're going to max out our HP stat. 252, we need to divide that by 9. It's, let's see, 18 would be 2, and then 72 is another 8. So we need to do 28. We need to defeat 28 Pokemon in the next area. And then once we're done with those 28 Squabbits, we're going to put the rest of the points into special defense. Now, because I unequipped the power belt in order to get those last 3 points for defense, I could have equipped the special defense item, which I think is the power band. And then I could have gotten a free 24 points in special defense, which means that I wouldn't need to defeat an additional 2 or 3 Pokemon when we actually get to special defense. But that's okay. Like, it's just a minor inconvenience. So now we're moving on to Squabbit. We need to defeat 28 of these. But we also don't actually have to keep count because 252 is actually the max that you can go. So even if we were to defeat 30 of them, it'd be fine. You can't, like, waste stat points at this point in the training. Interestingly enough, we have exactly 28 fighting moves left. Because we're at 27... we're at 27 Mach Punches and 1 Drain Punch. Just gonna double check because, like I said, it's you don't want to mess this up. Max HP. Okay, we're good. By the way, this would be a good time for you to use Pokerus, because 28 battles is kind of a lot. You could cut that down to 14 battles instead, and that's a lot more manageable. Want to test out my Halloween team? Anyone want to battle? Let's see, Halloween team. That would be Pumpkaboo, Trevenant, who else would be on that team? Is Mr. Eevee in the game yet? Probably not, but Miss Magius would be a pretty good Pokemon to have in a Halloween team. I don't think that Miss Magius is in the game though. I would have used it by now. Let's see what else we got. Two Ghosts, 2 Psychics, and 2 Darks. Well, the Ghost types could either be Trevenant, Pumpkaboo, those are kind of difficult to create though because you have to trade for them. Or maybe like a Dusknoir, maybe a Dusclops with Eviolite. Dark type Pokemon, Grimmsnarl kind of would fit Halloween theme. I don't know what other dark types would be good for that, though. Liepard? 2 Psychics. Musharna? Hatterene? For sure it's gotta be Hatterene, because like the witch's hat and everything like that. I don't know, those are my guesses. What's the team, Pika? Unless you don't want to share it until you're actually in battle with somebody. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Espeon being the witch's cat. But why not Umbreon? It's actually a black cat. Yep, all you gotta do is just trade to get Evolved Girder. You don't even need to have an item or anything like that. So just find someone trustworthy, trade in, trade back. I already had 2 dark types selected, so I couldn't use Umbreon. Besides, I don't have one. $360p, looks sharp. Speaking of which, I should probably lower my own. Wait, what happened to the Squabbit that was here? Oh, man. I'm glad that these Nickets are showing up now. I hope that they show up later. Because we're putting the rest of our points into Nicket. Actually, it wouldn't be too bad to use Pokerus right now, because we're going to definitely max out on HP, and then the rest will be special defense. We've already gotten the exact amount that we needed for what's it called? So we're going to spread Pokerus right now, momentarily. Let's go ahead and just throw this on here. What a monstrous Jolteon, what am I doing? Quick Feet, Flame Orb. That Jolteon will literally never get outsped by anything ever. Too bad I didn't give it Shadow Ball. Oh wait, is this Jolteon Eevee trained? It probably is. Yeah, it's in the battle box. Whew, thank goodness. Oh yeah. I'd agree with that. You know, there's really not really a point in doing 1080p Pokemon. I don't even think I stream at 1080p. I think I stream at 720. Because it's kind of difficult to tell the difference. If I could stream at 720p, 60 frames per second, that'd be awesome. I don't think that N64 games run at 60 frames per second. I think they're 30 frame per second games. I think that the GameCube was the first one to do 60 FPS. So like you'd be streaming at 60 frames per second, but like every other one would be a waste of frames. You're just redrawing the exact same one. Do I have Pokerus yet? I do. So I can put this Jolteon away so it can infect something else later on. I'm glad that I talked about Pokerus earlier so that I don't have to waste time talking about it now. Imagine Blu-ray N64 Pokemon Stadium. Not too different from, what's it called, right? Pokemon Coliseum? What if zombies were in the game and it goes around infecting Pokemon? I mean, if they're infecting it with Pokerus, then that'd be awesome. I think everyone would enjoy that. Like, you just go around intentionally getting bit. I guess having your Pokemon be bit. Alright, the one problem with switching to using Pokerus midway through is that I actually don't know how many I need left. So we started off with so we need 14 total to be completely done with HP. I just don't know how many we have left because I didn't know how many we had by the time we got Pokerus. I still don't know how the army loses to slow zombies in The Walking Dead. Or how they lost to the zombies in World War Z. I mean, to be fair though, like, if you think about conventional warfare, like, what are you gonna do? You can't, like, gas them because they're dead. If you shoot them with bullets, they're gonna keep walking, they're dead. Like, the only thing that really deals damage to them is, you know, smashing damage or bludgeoning. Also, by the way, we went for almost an entire area without finding any Squabbits. That's what I was talking about, how you can get unlucky with Eevee Training as well. People found a cure in World War Z. Yes, they did. Wait, did they find a cure? Well, okay, in the movie there was a cure. But in the... I think in the book, they find, like, in the book, it's actually, World War Z is over, and it's a bunch of, like, scholarly accounts of what happened during the what's it called? It's a way to camouflage with the zombies. Yeah, that's how the movie worked out, yeah. In the book, they kind of just figured out that they don't work well in the cold, and because they're attracted to sound, you can just, like, attract them all into a giant, like, football stadium that's blaring noises, and then, like, torch them all. And, like, they just taught people how to, like, know what a zombie is and, like, casually walk away from it, and they just learned how to deal with the problem. We're probably done by now. I think we're done. We've done like 20 of these. We're not done yet. I think we're close to being done though. Let's see. Started out with 28. Let's say that we got Pokerus on the 10th one, which isn't even true, but by then we would have had 90 points, and we need to get to 252, and then from then on we are doing 18 each. 18, so 90, or 252 minus 90 is 162, and then doing 18 after that is like 9. No, it's not. 18 each. Yeah, it is 9 actually. In Season 1 of The Walking Dead, a walker used the rock to smash windows. We don't see stuff like that anymore in The Walking Dead. I actually used to read the comics for The Walking Dead because The Walking Dead was starting to get popular when I was in not high school. Actually, it probably was starting to get popular when I was in high school, but it was popular enough for my roommate to read it in college. So he basically, like, every couple of months would just buy the book that had like all the most recent episodes of the comic, and I would read it when he was done with them. And then to pay him back, I bought him one of the books in the later on. We should definitely be done by now. We needed only 9, and we've done like plenty more since then. Yeah, we're done. Alright, so the final set will be the remainder of points go into special defense. We need 172 to do that. We're getting 18 every time, so that's 10. We need to defeat 10 Nickets. That's Power Band. Alright, you guys saw how many Nickets there were in the grass before. Now's not the time to start getting shy on me. I actually wanted to watch The Walking Dead, the TV series. In fact, I really tried to watch the first episode even. Like when it first came on AMC, I like was in my dorm and I like found an empty room where like an empty lounge where like no one else was in a kind of a middle of nowhere location. And then I sat down, turned it on, and I was going to start watching it. But then, like, this girl came in and, like, started making dinner, and then, like, she started telling me her whole life story. It ended up being a kind of a really sad story, and, like, I couldn't just, like, ignore her. So, I ended up missing the first episode, and then I was like, well, oh well, I missed it. And now it's on, Hulu? Or is it on Netflix? I think it's on Netflix or something like that. And it's on my to-watch list, but, like, there's so many episodes, and I really don't want to, like, catch up or anything like that. But, maybe. Oh, when the Pokemon are glowing like this, if you catch them, then they have a chance of having an egg move. I actually want to see this. Let me actually catch this Pokemon. Critical catch immediately. You still get experience points. I mean, because you get experience points, I think you still get the stat points for catching them. You gain watts, which is kind of whatever, because it's only like 140 of them. Let's look at this Nickit here. Oops. This Nickit knows Beat Up and Knock Off. And I think that Knock Off is an egg move. I don't think that you're supposed to start off with Knock Off at level 7 with the Nickit. Yeah, Nickit doesn't learn knockoff at all, except through a TR, and also as the egg move. Actually, only as an egg move, not as the TR. So that's pretty cool. Like I had known that for a while, but this is the first time I've actually caught one just to see what you would actually have. And I think that the stats are actually better than usual. Look at that. 4 IVs from just a random wild Pokemon. That's actually really good. Compare that with like all these Dittos that I caught. Like not even a single one of them. Alright, we have one IV Ditto among all these that I caught. And if you look at all of the Isle of Armor Pokemon that I caught, you know, 1 IV, 1 IV, 1 IV, 1. Yeah, so most of them are like not very good. But this one random Nickit that I caught has 4 IVs, which means that starting to breed them is like breeding a Nickit from here would be really good. I have plans to make Nickit at some point in time, so we'll go ahead and put that in the box. I don't think mine plans on having knockoff though. What is mine supposed to have? Snarl, Parting Shot, Fake Tears, and Dark Pulse. Choppleberry and Unburden. Okay. That's okay, I guess. This is supposed to be a support Thievul. No, it's not. That's definitely not a support Thievul. Well, I mean, it's kind of a support Thievul. Fast Snarls is good. Fast Dark Pulse because it can flinch. And then Fake Tears to lower their special defense by 2 stages. Parting Shot just to lower someone's special attack. Alright. Back to what we were doing. I don't know how many we've done so far. Oh, I also just realized that catching that Pokemon is going to mess with the count. Now we're actually supposed to defeat 9 of these Nickits instead of 10 of them, because we caught one of them instead. Oh, we've done 3 so far. If you want to speed this up as well, you can also turn off animations. That makes things go a lot faster. But for the stream's sake, I'll just keep it on. Oh, one other thing that we can do, by the way, because we're actually at max HP, we can actually fight Squabbits now because we won't waste any points. We're at 252 already. We can't go over that. So we can defeat Squabbits, and then we'll get, you know, 1 HP's point, which just gets thrown away. But then we'll get 16 special defense points because we're still equipping the power item. So if we were like particularly lazy, we could defeat either 10 Nickits, or we could defeat you know, 11 Nickits or Squabbits. And because Squabbits are more common to find, then, you know, we would just be able to, we might finish faster by targeting both Pokemon instead of just one, even though it's more battles. Step 2 is get the right nature. Now, for you, getting the right nature might be kind of difficult. Because you didn't do the prep ahead of time. So I have a Ditto of every single nature that I would care about. So I just choose one out of the box and then give them the right give them the Everstone. Giving an Everstone to a Pokemon with a particular nature means that the Pokemon that breeds with that parent will produce an egg that has the nature of the Pokemon with the Everstone. So if you have Impish Nature, which is plus defense minus special attack, give it an Everstone. All the eggs that come from that Pokemon will also be Impish Nature. We're getting super lucky with these Nickit spawns. Welcome back, DS64. That's another reason why I get my Ditto from Pokemon Let's Go. Is because there's a technique that you can use in that game to guarantee that the Pokemon that you get already automatically has the nature that you care about. It just costs like a little bit of Poke dollars. And so you basically just like talk to this old lady, set up the trick, fly to Cerulean Cave, catch a Ditto, fly back to Celadon City, talk to the same lady. I have a video on my playlist, not on my playlist, it's on my channel. I guess I would have to cut it up and edit it down to show the trick for Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. I think we're done. Perfect. All done. Max out all the stats. What I like to do after this is fly to Hammerlock. Motostoke. Wait, which one is it? I like to fly to Hammerlock. And then from here, I walk over to this lady over here. And show her the Pokemon. And then she says, this one really gave it their all. And then she gives the effort ribbon. So I personally use that as a way for me to say at a glance, yep, I'm done with this Pokemon. All trained up. May as well do these others as well. How many of them are actually done though? Everyone except for the Snorlax. Oh, I remember now why I gave up on Tentacruel. This Tentacruel is supposed to have Aqua Ring, but that's an egg move, and I don't have the Pokemon that I need in order to actually give Aqua Ring to this Pokemon. Let me see here. Tentacruel. Aqua Ring. Aqua Ring is an egg move that I would get from a Pokemon that I can't get in this game, Corsola. Corsola is actually a Pokemon Shield exclusive. So, this Cyndaquil is just kind of chill out until I get a Corsola. And not a Galarian Corsola, like a regular Coalossal, because here's an actual Coalossal that I just got from a trade, but I need the original Hoenese Coalossal, the pink and white, in order to use Aqua Ring. So I guess since I'm done, we can do battles and stuff like that. But before I do that, I guess I should address I like pies conundrum. So what happens when you don't have a box full of Dittos that have the perfect natures for what you want to breed? How do you actually get the Pokemon that you want? So now you're going to have to learn about egg groups. So every Pokemon has an egg group, although some Pokemon have an egg group just called cannot breed. And so you're going to want to pair your Pokemon with such Pokemon. So, for example, you wanted Girder to have the right nature. So you go to Cerebi.net as always. You go to Timber and you look up his egg group. He's in the human-like category. So that means that other Pokemon in the human-like egg group will be able to breed with your... So another issue is that you're going to have a female Girder. This is one of the reasons why Ditto is so great. Because 3/4 of all Girders are going to be male. And only 25% of them are going to be female. Which means that you might be stuck with the Girder that you have for now. Unless you can get a Ditto with the right nature. So you would breed with your Ditto. So you actually have a Ditto. So you have a Ditto, you're going to basically have to breed with your Ditto if you have a male right now. Until you end up with a female. And then you're going to want to find a male human-like egg Pokemon. So like if you have a Kadabra, or Machop, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, all these other things like that, using the nature that you care about. So this one is plus attack minus speed. Let's say I didn't actually have that yet. Or you can't see my screen right now, but I have a plus attack minus speed Concelder, which is a brave nature. So you're going to go to your box and you're going to say, well, let me search for the nature that I want, which is brave. And then you search. And then you say to yourself, alright, which one of these are human-like? Is Chansey human-like? I don't think Chansey is human-like. Chansey is not. How about Scyther is not? I'm pretty sure I don't even need to look that up. Snorlax is not. Aegislash is not. Meltan is not. Neither is Rookidee. Ah, there you go. I have a male Timber. Actually, I should have done that as well. So I need to make sure that it's also the right gender. So like male. So this is the Pokemon that I would use to breed with my female Girder or Timber that I got from my Ditto in order to get the right nature. What other things do I have with that? Lots of other Timbers. Obviously the easiest thing for you would be to just, trade. Because here I have a 4 IV Timber with, all the stuff. Also, if it's your first Pokemon that you're building for competitive, it doesn't have to be perfect. My first competitive Pokemon was the Snorlax here. and he served me well. But he's definitely lacking in a lot of different ways. Plus defense nature, max special defense, max HP. And let me tell you why this Pokemon is so bad. Heavy Slam, as well as the move. Bold? What is Bold Nature? I actually don't ever know what any of these things are. Bold Nature is plus defense minus attack. You wouldn't want that for Concelder, because Concelder is an attacker. Like, you might want to go with things that lower special attack, like maybe plus defense minus special attack, or maybe like Adamant for plus attack minus special attack. I like Brave because Concelder is already so slow that it's not worth saving his speed stat, and if someone wants to use Trick Room on me, then suddenly my Concelder might actually be slower than their Pokemon. But if you have it, the Ditto right now for you is only going to be used in order to get a female Timber, and then you can get a female Timber. You find your, Brave or Adamant. I would suggest either Brave or Adamant for Concelder, personally, but you can do that for yourself. In fact, I will actually show you through Showdown how to think about what you should actually make for some of these Pokemon. So I'm going to do some setup real quick. I'm going to bring out my old Snorlax build, the original one that I currently use all the time in viewer battles, and then I'm going to show you guys the new Snorlax that I use now. It was the first Pokemon that I built. Because when I came to Sword and Shield and I was like, I want to make a competitive Pokemon, like, to me, the poster child of competitive Pokemon, to me, is Coalossal-Gmax. It's not good anymore, but once upon a time, it was one of the best Pokemon ever. Since then, it's, really, really bad. Snorlax is such a bad Pokemon these days, but because when I was first getting into Pokemon, Snorlax was one of the best Pokemon to have. In my mind, I want to make Snorlax work, even though it's no longer, the best option for me to use. Alright, so that's the bad Snorlax, this is the good Snorlax. So put those into a team together so I can compare them side by side. And then this is what I didn't actually end up going with this. I ended up going with this, right? Plus defense, minus speed, and then a little bit of defense here. Okay. So now I'm ready to show you guys. So here's my Pokemon Showdown. I have these two Snorlaxes next to each other. Let me actually adjust the level here so that they're actually at the same level and you can see the difference between the two. Alright, so this is the original Snorlax that I came up with. It had Leftovers, Curse, Rest, Body Slam, Heavy Slam. This Pokemon got me really far. At the beginning of my competitive journey, when I was, learning about Pokemon and figuring out how to battle and things like that, I've won so many games with Snorlax carrying me, mostly against people that don't know anything about competitive. It's very similar to imagine in Smash, you know how to bait and you know how to whiff punish basically, and that's the only advanced technique you've learned. You still are mashing and everything like that, but now oh, when Ganondorf charges a forward smash, I can, actually attack them in the recovery frames and, start doing damage. So it's like, it's one tool, and like you need a lot more tools than that, but like it's the only one that you have. So my Snorlax carried me a lot fighting against casual Pokemon people because mine was actually built at all. So let's take a look at its stats. 524 HP, 256 attack, 183 defense, 319 special defense, 86 speed. Pretty good, you know? Not too bad. Rest. So the concept here is you send in your Snorlax. It's a special wall that can't take damage from special attacks. You use Curse to build up your defense, which raises your attack and your defense and lowers your speed by 1 level. And then you can use Heavy Slam because you're so heavy. You destroy Fairy-type Pokemon. You use Body Slam because it's your normal-type move. It does 50% more damage because you're a normal-type Pokemon using a normal-type move. It's called the same-type attack bonus. Same-type attack bonus, or a stab. The Heavy Slam is just because, why not? The problems with this build. So first off, I gave it a plus defense nature. So plus defense nature means that I get a 10% bonus to my base stat points from this. 10% of 65 is 6. I'm wasting my potential by getting 6 bonus points into defense for a total of 12 bonus points by the time I'm done at level 100. And only 6 points when I'm at level 50 because that's what competitive battles are in. Issue number 2. Rest with no Chesto Berry. Basically what ends up happening here is I use Curse once. They switch out to their physical attacker. They attack me. They take off like almost half my HP. I use Curse again. Then the next turn they attack me. I use Rest. And then they're doing like maybe a third of my HP. So now I've used Rest and I'm at full HP. But now they get a free attack. So they attack me once, that's 1/3 of my damage. They attack me again, that's 1/3 of my damage. They attack me another time, that's another 1/3, I'm dead. No good. So the third thing that's wrong with this build is Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam does not work at all against Dynamax Pokemon. If you try to use Heavy Slam against a Dynamax Pokemon, it'll say Snorlax shook his head, you couldn't seem to use the move or whatever. This is my new Snorlax that I'm working towards. I replaced Heavy Slam with Iron Head, and then I changed the nature and then moved around the abilities. Moved around the effort points. Iron Head can be used against Pokemon that are Dynamaxed, no problem, which is good. And let's take a look at the stats here. 195 defense. That's higher than it was on the other Snorlax. 132 special defense. That's also higher than it was on the other Snorlax. Like, the other Snorlax was 319. This one's 320. The other Snorlax was 183. This one's 195. The reason for that, I gave it a plus special defense nature. Plus, so 10% of 110 is 11. That's like twice the amount of bonus stats as going plus defense. So also what I did, I replaced the leftovers with Chesto Berry. So now when I use Rest, so the Pokemon comes in, I throw in my Snorlax against a special attacker. They're not going to do any damage to me. I use Curse, they switch out to their physical attacker. They attack me, I use Curse again. Now they attack me, I use Rest, go to full HP, Chesto Berry, wake up. And now I'm at full HP with 2 curses up already. I can use a 3rd curse to make myself unkillable. And maybe even a 4th curse. And then I can use Rest and it's fine if I get hit twice and don't wake up. No problem. So everything about the Snorlax is better than my previous Snorlax. I could even Dynamax and then use my Gigantamax move, which gives me back my berry. And then use Rest again if I really wanted to. The Gmax move is really for the for this guy more so, though. It's more for the Appleton, so that I can get my Keyberry back and get +4 defense instead of +2 defense. But anyway, that's enough of that. So let's now talk about Concelder. I have a Concelder. I actually have a couple of Concelder builds within this within Showdown. But let's make one from scratch, though. So off the bat, you see that his base stats are high in HP, high in attack, okay defense, bad everything else. You could patch up the special defense with an assault vest. That's what I tried to do. I don't think it works, but I tried it. Whatever. So like a common Concelder would be like max attack, and then either decide whether you want to do max defense or if you want to do like max HP. I haven't really done the numbers. Like, there are people that are way better than this at me than I am. That you can use like the Pokemon calculator, and they'll decide whether it's better to go into like max HP versus max defense. And then they like make their builds so they can do things like, well, if I take Stealth Rock's damage and I'm fighting against like, a bulk up Zeraora that uses Plasma Fist, then I'll live it and use Drain Punch if I have this particular build. Like, that's way too complicated for me. I'm still at my basics right now. So yeah, this is a pretty good set here, and then you decide whether to go plus attack, and then usually would either go like minus speed or minus special attack. So that would be either adamant or brave, and then you could put the other 4 points anywhere, like maybe here, something like that. Every 4 points, by the way, gives you 1 extra stat point. Don't do anything that's not a multiple of 4. And then the options are like our guts. Sheer Force is actually kind of nice because it increases their attack power by 1.3. And then you can use all of your the punch moves. Like if you were to use like Thunder Punch, then now the move will no longer have a 10% chance to paralyze. 10% is very low, but thanks to Sheer Force, now instead of it doing 75, it's now doing 1.3 times that, which is like 90. Now it's like a 90 base power move. It's pretty nice. What are some other better ones than that? Focus Blast would be nice, because now you have like 150 base power Focus Blast, but his special attack is so bad that like it's better just to use the physical attack. What else we got here? Hammer Arm sounds really nice actually, because Hammer Arm is 100, but it would become 130 base power. Oh wait, no, it lowers the user speed by 1, so that doesn't have an effect on Sheer Force. Sheer Force only works against negative things against the opponent, not against you. So you wouldn't be able to like use close combat and then negate the defense and special defense drop and also increase its power. That'd be broken. Yeah, that's really about it, I'd say. Rock Slide would be nice. Now it's a 90 base power, but it no longer causes a flinch, but also your Concelder. You're not going first anyway unless you're in Trick Room. You got to be careful with using Pokemon Showdown, because Pokemon Showdown will allow you to use any move that a Pokemon has ever learned ever, even if it's only available through an event, or if it's like only available through a previous generation. So Concelder here. There's a list of like transfer only moves if you go to Cerebi.net. So these are the Pokemon these are the moves that you would not be allowed to use in ranked mode in this game. So you would not be allowed to use like Double Team or Toxic or Block, Knockoff, Rock Smash, Strength. You wouldn't want to use Rock Smash and Strength anyway, but like things like Knockoff, that's really nice on Concelder. Every Concelder in Pokemon Showdown has Knockoff, but it's not allowed in competitive here. Alright, so that's pretty much everything that I have to say about competitive team building. What time are we at? 2 hours? I could probably edit things down to make an actual informative video. That would probably take a little bit less than that. Probably I could get it down into 30 minutes. So if I'm not too lazy, then sometime today I'll probably put that up. Now that I'm basically done with all this stuff now, though, if anyone wants to battle or do raid battles or trade, now would be a good time to do all that. I went over how to use Pokemon Showdown, how to use Cerebi, egg groups, Pokerus, Eevee Training, IV Training, breeding. Like, just started from scratch and got a Roly-Coly out. But also, if no one wants to battle, then I will use this time to make my Vaporeon, because it's the last Pokemon I need for my team. Is it my last Pokemon? I should have 6 here. Alright, we can do some trades. Give me a code and then I'll join your room. What am I missing? Oh, Appleton. Yeah, Appleton's already done. Nice. So here's the Appleton. What a monster. Already perfect. Well, actually not perfect, but like as perfect as I'm going to make him. Here's the Snorlax. That will eventually be another Gmax Snorlax. Coalossal, I just built. Palisand, Tangrowth. So the last Pokemon that I need is a Vaporeon with Water Absorb. 8085, 8085. Alright, Bob fought his trading party. Great. I couldn't catch the Ditto. Ah, rip. Alright, what do you need here? I might not even have all the Pokemon that you need, if I'm honest, because I actually haven't caught everything in the Isle of Armor yet. It took so long it killed itself with struggle. Oh no. Clauncher? I have that, I think. That's this guy. Pinsir. I have that. And Slowking. Okay, so you're gonna give me the Slowking. So we can do... I can give you this Palisand and then you can give me the Slowking. Or the Sandagast. Oh, what is this? Is this a... is that a version exclusive? It's like a Duralgon or something like that. I forget what this thing is called when it evolves. So Slowpoke with a King's Rock. Give Slowking. I'll trade it back for whatever, I guess. And then we can trade the version exclusives. Does that mean that I need Heracross? Probably, that's what that means. I'm glad that there aren't that many exclusives. So then how many Pokemon are in the Isle of Armor decks? Because one of the things that's kind of got me super lazy about actually doing it is the fact that I don't know how far off I am. And also the fact that, you know, so many legendaries were introduced that I don't actually have access to. But that'll all change with Crown Tundra because we can do raid adventures. Alright, now it's the Clauncher. Get this version exclusive. This guy evolves into a pretty strong Pokemon. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's like, I'll know it if I see it. Dragali, which is a Poison and Dragon type Pokemon, which is the same as Eternatus, with 123 special defense, 90 defense. Really slow. 44 speed, that's like super slow. And I guess it's more defensive than I thought, but like, you know, I like defensive Pokemon, as you can tell from my, the Pokemon builds that I come up with. Last but not least, Pinsir for Heracross. I like pie. I'm going to trade you one of the Ditto that you would need after this as well, because I realized that I'm actually not using them right now, and as long as we're streaming, I could trade it to you. You can use it to get the right nature, and then you can trade it back when you're done. Because you also need to trade with me anyway to get Concelder. So the only thing you really need to tell me then is, well, for one thing, you need to have an Everstone. Do you have an Everstone? Because that's kind of really important for all this. So I'm going to give you the Ditto, and you're going to need to give it an Everstone, put it in the daycare with whatever you need. And then, now that I've told you that, the thing that I need to, for you to tell me is whether you'd rather have, actually, I don't think I can give you Brave. I don't think I have a Brave Ditto. I only have the Adamant Ditto. Because, yeah, I don't have Brave. I don't have minus attack. I don't have plus attack minus speed. Even though it's like, I probably should, because I actually do build those occasionally. But this is the adamant Ditto that you would need. Giving this will have your Concelder have more attack than usual once you breed it. So go ahead and give me a trade code while I figure out this Eevee, because we're going to just go ahead and do Eevee on stream as well. But I'm not going to go into as much detail and stuff, so it's going to it's mostly going to be just me just doing the stuff. Yep, whenever you're done, I have, it'll be fine whenever you're ready. Careful nature, okay. Careful should be plus special defense. What is careful? There it is. Missing Zarude and the Porygon line. Do you have Pokemon Let's Go? Because I should be able to give you a Porygon pretty easily. I have a number of them. But if you also have Let's Go, then you probably already have your own as well. So you would need Porygon, Porygon 2, and Porygon Z. So you're going to need a Dubious Disc and a 1284, 1284. Hey, it's my favorite. Well, it's almost my favorite. My actual favorite is 1284, 1632. But chat gets annoyed at me when I use that as my code. I did it again. There you go. Alright, so you need a Destiny Knot. And you need an Everstone. Since when do you go back to the bottom when you finish scrolling up to the top? That's weird. You can kind of use the Coalossal run is basically the educational one, and then you can use this Vaporeon as a real-time run. Without me stopping to explain everything along the way. Oh, the other thing I should have probably warned you about is the fact that 6 IV Dittos are like kind of super rare. So you probably won't actually be able to replicate things in as quickly of a time as I was able to do. It would help if I were connected to the internet. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I think you might want to stop searching and like re-put in the code. I'll do the same actually. Same code though. 1248, 1248. Alright, you need my adamant Ditto for a little bit. You can trade me literally anything, because I don't really need anything. Unless you have like a Gen 3 Coalossal. But I don't think you do. Sandvale. There's not enough room for him in the keep box, where I keep all my other Pokemon that I got from viewers. I guess I'll put my Diglett in this rare box. Peach probably doesn't even belong in the rare box anymore, because you can get those easily. And treat Diglett well. Don't worry, no one will lay a scratch on him as long as he's with me. I was looking into buying a month of home and bank just to get my old Pokemon. So I might be able to get a Gen 3 Coalossal for you eventually. That'd be cool. I've actually been thinking about getting Pokemon Shield so that I can get some of these Pokemon myself as well. Because you should be able to get Coalossal. You know, there's the in the Isle of Armor, there are those random NPCs that will trade you the Galarian Pokemon for their original Pokemon. In theory, they might appear for me as well, but I don't know. But they're also kind of random, and it's kind of hard to find them. because there's more than just buying Pokemon Shield, actually. So we're thinking about getting another Switch so that my wife and I don't have to share the one Switch that we have. So she'd be able to play Animal Crossing, I'd be able to play Pokemon, or Xenoblade, or Smash, or whatever. But, you know, it's better than that, because if I had two Switches, then I'd be able to locally trade with myself. So I could do things like bring over my rusted swords from my other Zacians, and I could bring over my other, like, leftovers or whatever other key items I can only get one copy of from other save files into this game. Because, like, I don't necessarily want to buy the Assault Vest, because, like, I have a lot of Pokemon that could run Assault Vest. And it would just be so much more convenient if I could just, like, trade over the free one that you get during your playthrough. Same with Life Orb and things like that. Let's see how lucky we got. Four IV, that's kind of nice. I like that. Not bad for breeding a 0 IV with the 6 IV. Actually, let's check to see. We might actually be done. No, we're not, because special defense and defense we want. The things that we're okay with missing out on. Let's see. So this Vaporeon has Aqua Ring, so he wants good HP, defense, and special defense. Acid Armor, Flip Turn, Baton Pass. So special attack and attack can be low and I wouldn't care. But we need to have good HP, special defense, and defense. I'm missing an Everstone. I'm supposed to have 6 of these. Some random Pokemon in one of my boxes is holding an Everstone. Mind doing 2 more sets of trades? Yeah, sure, I don't mind. What's the code? Is it the same as before? 8085, 8085? Same code, alright. Give you this roly-coly that's almost good. I also have Dragali holding a dubious disc to make it 2 trades, not 3. So I'm about to get a Porygon 2 right now then. Wow, that was my first time having a Porygon. So that's now a Porygon 2. And so now we trade just 2 random Pokemon, but one of your Pokemon is holding a dubious disc. Oh nice, I don't even have to evolve mine. Because I wasn't planning on, you know, actually building one for competitive. So I was just going to like use candies to evolve it. And then I quit out. We quit out of the trade. I give the dubious disc to my Porygon 2, and then it evolves into Porygon Z. If I'm... You can get a Porygon by talking to Mustard's kid, by talking to the Porygon next to him. Okay. Alright, same code. Hey there, 80. You looking for a battle? You mind if I trade it to you, trade it back, and then trade it back again, and then trade it back? You didn't want my roly-coly? Just need to watch something? Okay. Yeah, I don't mind you guys just watching. We just finished building a roly-coly, like Eevee Training and nature building and IVs and things like that. And now, and I spent like the first 2 hours of the stream explaining everything there is to know about, or everything that I know about, you know, breeding competitive Pokemon. And now it's just a matter of, oh, this is funny. We're going to trade this for the Porygon Z, and then we're going to trade the Porygon Z for the roly-coly, and it's going to be as though we didn't trade at all, even though we actually all have, what's it called? Even though we all have more Pokemon in our Pokedex now. I'll bow to you, Dante. Yeah, so I spent the first 2 hours like going slowly over Pokemon breeding and like making competitive Pokemon, and I plan on cutting it up into an actual video for upload, because even today, actually, one of my most watched videos is my first 3-hour stream where I basically watch the how to build competitive Pokemon and then like try to do it myself, but I do it all wrong, basically. And I explained today why the Snorlax that I built months ago is bad and how it could be better, and how I made a better Snorlax. So I'll like probably have to link to this new video from that old video, because a lot of people are watching that and they're going to get some misinformation from it. But now that we're done with that, we're just kind of chilling, and you know, we're helping some people complete their armor Pokedex. And in the meantime, I'm trying to get a Vaporeon up. You can actually click the Poke Paste link to see what the team I'm working towards is. It's nowhere near being ready, though. How's it going, Sirfetched? My old nemesis. What am I looking for? I'm looking for this. This is actually done now. I actually don't need this at all. So I can throw this into the surprise, one of the surprise boxes. I like pie by now, you should have an egg with the nature that you need. And then once you hatch that egg, you'll have the timber with the right nature. You give the Everstone to that timber, and then the rest of it is just breeding to get the right IVs. Since you don't have a 6 IV Ditto, it's going to be kind of difficult for you to get a good one. But if you can just try to get kind of lucky, and then even if you got like 3 IVs, like if you got good attack and HP, I would probably say just go with that, and just like accept that your Pokemon just isn't going to be good until you have the resources to make a better one. Now, that being said, if you have a Pokemon that has the right nature, you can use bottle caps once they're level 100. Do I have any? I do not. Do I have a gold bottle cap? I do not. Well, they're kind of rare, so it makes sense that I don't have any. It doesn't make sense that I don't have any because I've competed in online events, so I should have some, but I don't. But you can basically hyper train your Pokemon. Oh, they're in the treasures box. So you can use this bottle cap to take a Pokemon's space stat. Let me see where this is. I know that I said that I was going to like not explain a bunch of stuff, but here's more stuff. You go to the Battle Tower, you talk to this guy here, and he takes a level 100 Pokemon, and then you can, like, for example, this Pokemon here has best in everything except for defense, which is only fantastic. I could give this Zeraora a bottle cap, and it will have best defense as well, even though it'll say hyper trained actually. And then it'll be as though I bred a perfect Zeraora myself, even though it's not perfect. Same with this Mewtwo. I could give it best special attack instead of pretty good, and it would just be a better Mewtwo. If you had a gold bottle cap, then you can do all 6 stats at once. Like for this Leafeon, but you wouldn't do it for this Leafeon because gold bottle caps are hard to come by. I don't really breed Pokemon that would actually need a... Well, for example, the Cinderace. This is my starter Pokemon. Like, I started the game with this, went through the whole game with it. But it's bad in almost every way. I could use a gold bottle cap, and I could actually increase all of its stats. You actually want to use a gold bottle cap when there are... So this Pokemon has 5 stats that it needs to increase. So if I were to use 5 bottle caps, that would be a waste, because I can use the Cramomatic through the Isle of Armor to use 3 bottle caps and some random item to create a gold bottle cap. So then instead of using 5 to make all 5 of my stats going up, I could use 3 to create a gold bottle cap, and then use that gold bottle cap to open up the hidden potential and have all hyper trained for the Cinderace. So yeah. I never used that machine. You can use it for infinite money, and you can use it to more efficiently use your bottle caps. But otherwise, there's not really a reason to use it. Like, if you've already beaten the game and you have most of the Pokemon that you need, you can talk to this person here, and you can buy cherry berries for 80. And you see I have like 959 of them. And then you go into the Cramomatic, you put 4 of them into the machine. It'll always come out with Heat Crash. And then you can sell them. Well, you can't sell them here. But you can go to a place where you can sell items. and then you can sell all the heat crashes that you got from all the cherry berries that you got, and you'll make a profit guaranteed every time. But like, money is so easy to come by. You just do raid battles and then sell all the pearls and stuff that you get. Money just lying around on the floor. You can just beat the Elite Four over and over again. You don't really need the money. And I don't really need the gold bottle caps because I usually breed my Pokemon to be good enough as they are. So I also don't really need it either. But it's good information to know. Like, maybe there's someone out there that doesn't have, you know, unlimited money. Especially for me as a streamer, I can just like make a stream that's called Raid Battles, and then I can just like have people join, and like it'll always queue up immediately. The room always fills up immediately. Oh, money, that's true. Money can be used to bypass Eevee Training, because you can buy the vitamins. Actually, that I didn't go over that at all when I was talking about building competitive Pokemon, because I actually don't like using vitamins, because they're always multiples of 10, and you almost never build a Pokemon that has a multiple of 10. You're done with my Ditto now. Yeah, if you can switch the Everstone over to the Timber that has the right nature, and you can basically use that to do all the other breeding that you need. Oh, come on. What's going on here? You good? They don't seem very fond of one another. Yikes. That means it takes forever for the eggs to be hatched, or to be generated. So whenever you feel, whenever you have the time, I can get that Ditto back. You could also keep it. I mean, it doesn't take me that long to get an Adamant Ditto. It's kind of a pain, because like I have to put in Eevee, spend 10,000 Gs, go to Cerulean Cave, catch a Ditto, put it into Pokemon Home, and then put it into Sword. But like, at the same time, like, it's a pain for me, but it's impossible for you. So like, I don't mind it if you want to keep that Ditto. Like, I'm completely giving you the permission to keep that Adamant Ditto. I also want the Ditto back, though. Okay, I'll give you the Diglett back. I thought that was just like a throwaway, take any Pokemon ever. Because all my trades are basically like, I don't really care. I have so many Pokemon that I don't actually use and will never use. It was collateral. Alright, yeah, we'll trade back for the Ditto. Same code as before. So you can decide whether you want to give me back the Ditto. Or you can just throw some Pokemon you don't actually care about. There are also a couple of other things when it comes to training your Pokemon, Eevee training your Pokemon, that I didn't talk about. I briefly mentioned Pokejobs, and I explained all the Pokejob stuff, like how many points you get per hour, how long you can put in your Pokemon for, and things like that. But I didn't talk about the time skip exploit that makes you able to complete any Pokejob immediately. And that's mostly because I don't want to actually... I've never actually done it before. I know how to do it, and it would be really easy for me to do it. I don't particularly want to do it, though, because it's an exploit. So you won't actually see it from me. But basically, you can set up a thing where you put your Pokemon in the job for a whole day, and then you go to a Pokemon den. You start searching locally for, not using the online. Please don't use online. It floods the Wycom with dead links. So you locally search for for partners to go with. You go press home, go into your system settings. You change your clock by 1 day. You back out of the den search, and now it's a day later. And then you go into the Poké Jobs, and they are ready for you to come out. So in words, that's how you would do it. And if you get into a rhythm, you can basically completely Eevee train your Pokemon in like 5 minutes. It would take actually less than that. It would take more, like, most of the time would be spent going to a den. Also, I like Pi, do you have the internet on? Because it's taking longer than usual. 1248, 1248. I see that you're searching, and you've been searching. Some things interrupted, like when I go into the menu and when I like hatch an egg and things like that, those things all interrupt me searching. But like, we should still find each other. I'll put in the code just to make sure that I typed it in right. I could have typed in the wrong code. 1248, 1248. Also, me going into menus also interrupts it as well. Oh, we're done. Nice. That didn't take very long. Two eggs. Or that was actually 3 eggs. 3 eggs is not bad. That's actually really good. It's like almost a record. So I'm going to put in the same code. 1248, 1248. And I'm going to sit still as well. We're actually... Okay, so there are a couple ways to think about this. The first time while I was stopping and explaining everything that I was doing, we were done breeding at the 40-minute mark. Since we started breeding the Eevee, we're now done breeding at the 50-minute mark. It's been 50 minutes since we've started breeding, but also in that time we've traded 5 times, I think. We traded 3 version exclusives, plus the Slow King, and we traded the Ditto, and then we traded again for the Porygon line. So even though it's like we're behind schedule, we've been able to interact with chat while still keeping pace with our original speed. Hey there, Joe. How's it going today? It's a Pokemon day today for me. Did it say welcome back, or did it say welcome? This is the new Ditto. Isn't it? Oh wait, no, it doesn't say welcome back because it's not my original Ditto. This Ditto belongs to Stormy Sensei on Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So this this Eevee can go with the starters. Because I was actually kind of annoyed that I didn't have that many regular Eevee. Like all these Eevees, well, these Eevees are fine. But all these Eevees are Anticipation, which is the hidden ability, which would give me Rain Dish, I think, as Vaporeon. And I actually want to have Water Absorb. Let me double check that. Vaporeon, hidden ability is Hydration, actually. All status problems are healed when raining. Now, Hydration Rest with Rain Dance. Vaporeon can't learn Rain Dance, right? That'd be crazy. Whoa, Vaporeon can learn Rain Dance. Rain Dance, Rest, Acid Armor, and Whirlpool? No. Acid Armor already, they have good defense already. No, they have good special defense, actually. Let's see. Rain Dance, Rest, Scald, and I think you would need Acid Armor. You could have like max special defense, max HP. You would lose to Taunt. But that's that's a future thing. Right now we're working on Water Absorb. The reason why we want Water Absorb is because of this team build that I have. I would like to have Water Absorb in case someone wants to throw water at... Well, no one's going to want to throw water at Coalossal. Well, actually they might, because 4 times weak to water, it would be a nice bait. Like, I can throw in Vaporeon's Water Absorb. Like, I really like this team in general, because Palossand has Water Compaction, so I can use Flip Turn into my own Palossand to increase my own defense. I can also swap out from Coalossal into Palossand to take more defense, or into Vaporeon to heal. Appleton is 4 times weak to ice, but I can swap out into Snorlax's Thick Fat, which will reduce the damage there. Tangrowth is weak to fire, but Snorlax can come in and use Thick Fat to protect from that as well. Vaporeon can also come in and tank that as well. Just like overall, just like good on all fronts. I have a lot of, this is the first team that I'm building. You know, I've made a lot of competitive Pokemon, but this is the first time that I've built a team together around like synergizing, like who's going to swap into what, you know, who covers whose weaknesses. Granted, they're all fat and slow, but at the same time, that's my playstyle, and I want to keep playing like that. One draft of this team did have a Hatterene for Trick Room, and I think that this team would do really, really well in Trick Room. Not really, really well, because the thing about the team is that they're all defensive for the most part. We don't have that much offensive pressure. Like, the people that are going to be offensive are going to be basically the Tangrowth and the Coalossal. Actually, not even the Coalossal. Let me look at this team again. The offensive pressure comes from the Palossand, because I have the weakness policy, Water Compaction, Palossand. So the idea would be you Flip Turn into the Palossand that G-maxes, and then you use like Max Quake, which raises your special defense. So now your defense is up, your special defense is up. And you're at max HP, max special attack, Dynamaxed. And yeah, you just go from there. That's kind of the offensive mode for this team. Also, Appleton kind of is a problem. You can't really sleep on it, even though it doesn't have any special attack investment. Apple Acid lowers your special defense, so over time you get damaged more and more and more. And yeah, so I don't know. The team probably loses to status effects, and the team probably loses to hyper offense. But anything that's not those two, like, it would probably win against Trick Room, it would probably win in Sun. It would, oh yeah, another thing about Fire. Coalossal's actual steam engine also activates on Fire, so you send in Tangrowth. They're like, okay, well, Tangrowth is weak to Fire, let's send out a Fire attack. So in Sun, like, you bait out the Tangrowth, well, you bait out the Fire move with the Tangrowth. Switch to Coalossal is 4-time resistance, and then raises the speed to ×4. And then you start clicking Body Press, and things start dying. So yeah, that's all the team synergy that we got going on here. Just caught a Vaporeon? Nice. Am I done with this? Did I breathe? Yeah, I think we finished all these. Let's see what other things we got. So we got 5 IVs. This one's actually not too bad either. We got really lucky. We had 4 IV breeding with a 6 IV, and then we got special attack twice, which is exactly the thing that we actually cared about. Just to double look at this thing and see here. Got my Eevee Train box, and yeah, same stats. Wait a minute, what am I trying to do breeding these Timber again? Alright, so... Oh, you might not have access to that. So, when you look at your stats for level 1 Pokemon, it should look like this. If you see in the bottom right corner the Judge ability, you can press plus, and then you'll see their potential. So you want a Pokemon with good potential. So at best you want, you know, best in all the stats that you care about. So for Concelder, that would be HP, attack, and defense. And it's okay if you don't have best stats in the stats you don't care about, like special attack and speed. For the Snorlax, I don't care about speed, so it's fine that it's decent. I got lucky and got this Tangela special attack. I don't have any special attacks on my Eevee. It's fine for this to be decent instead of best. So you're trying to breed until you get good enough potential for your Pokemon, because you don't have a 6 IV Ditto or anything like that. You're probably not going to be able to get the best Concelder that you can get. You might have to deal with having like a Pokemon that looks like this. That's like decent in the things that you want, or very good or fantastic in the things that you want, instead of something like this, or actually something more like this. This is something that I bred myself, and this is a Pokemon that I bred, but like I only bred until I got the right nature and didn't breed to get the right IVs. This was before I had a 6 IV Ditto, and like before I like looked into that sort of stuff. If you're not seeing Judge, that means you don't have access to that feature yet. And the way that you get access to that feature, let me first move these Pokemon into the right box. You're going to have to battle for those. You're going to have to go to Wyndon's Battle Tower. And you're going to want to do either single battle or double battles. Since you're just learning competitive, I would say that you would go to the Battle Tower and do singles. Maybe rent a team if yours aren't very good. You could probably also find a rental team online pretty easily, like from a streamer or like a popular person. And then beat Leon again. Like, you already beat him at the champion. He's a little stronger when you fight him in the Battle Tower. And it's 3-on-3 instead of 6-on-5. And once you beat him in the Battle Tower, then you get access to the Judge feature. And then you can determine your Pokemon's potential. Again, you could also just trade with me as well. Like, I think I have exactly the thing that you're looking for. Like, aside from the fact that I actually have a Concelder that's built pretty much the way that you would build it, I think that I also have, like, just timber just lying around. Granted, it's good for you to figure it out yourself, because like I said, the Snorlax that I built was suboptimal, but at least I learned the things from doing it. That's terrible. Nope. Oops. And because I learned it, that means that now every time I do it, it's a little faster than the last time. So it's like, it might benefit you to just do it badly a couple of times. Yeah, this one already is like what you would use anyway. It's a brave, best in everything except for special attack and speed. And then these other ones are like worse than that. So well, actually, this is terrible. Actually, plus special attack minus attack, even though it's got okay stats, IVs or whatever. What I could do for you is at least give you a female one, if I have one. Keep on pressing B when I don't mean to do that. If I have a female timber, those are kind of hard to find. At least that I could do for you. So here's the female Concelder. The stats are not that great though. Let's see if I can find any more. Nope, that's the only one I have. So then you could use your male Concelder, or your male timber, with your this female Concelder, and easily keep breeding to get timbers with the right nature, and then hope that one day their stats are high. Ideally, though, you would well, first things first, you probably need to get the judge ability, so you should defeat, what's it called? You should defeat Leon at the battle tower so that you can properly train, or so you can probably know when you're done breeding, because otherwise you're just breeding and you don't actually know when you're done with what you're doing. Almost released that. It would have been fine. I have another one that has the exact same stats. So this is max HP, max special defense. No, I don't want to hold it, I want to use it. What do I know? Oh, okay. I don't actually need any of these moves anyway. The thing that I need is at level 45. I still can't get over rest hydration. I'm pretty sure that's like a tactic that's actually used for real somewhere. Someone used that before. Alright, so we need 14 Squabbits and then 14 Nickets. Yikes. This is definitely a breeding mon. The moveset is so terrible. Tar Shot, Incinerate. Rapid Spin, Stealth Rocks. This max happiness thing is not working out for me. Because it shudders every time. I think because it knows Water Gun. Oops. I guess at some point in time I should probably get footage of me using using vitamins instead of fighting Pokemon for this. Because like you can just do it in a couple presses of a button. Instead of finding and fighting 28 Pokemon. Like I said before, multiples of 10 are hard to come by. Like you don't usually build for that. There aren't even that many good ones, because you really have to have multiples of 40 for stat distribution in order for that to be worth it. Otherwise you're wasting Eevees here and there. But it's fine for a Pokemon like this. Like if you're just trying to do max HP, max defense, you know, just use up all 26 vitamins. Yeah, that would be a lot better. I was almost thinking about talking about how it would be a waste to use 26 vitamins instead of using 25 because you get 10 at a time. 252 is the max. So that 26th vitamin, you'd be wasting 8 of its points. But I figured that if you like build a lot of Pokemon and you're already the type of person to just like buy vitamins and use them all, Feathers would also be the better option as well. Then I just imagine that you just basically only spend your money on vitamins I spend most of my money basically breeding the Pokemon to begin with. Because, like, you have to keep on, every time you replace the Pokemon, it's like 500. And sometimes if you're really unlucky, like, you only have males of a Pokemon, and you need to have a female so that you can get an egg move, so that you can then get the right nature, so you can then, you know, get the right IVs. Like, it can take a lot of back and forth, swapping things out. It used to cap at 255, actually. Starting in Sword and Shield, it actually caps at 252. And I'm glad for that, because those extra 3... Like, if you were to have, like... You know, if you were trying to do, like, max attack, max defense, and then put the remaining 4 into speed, then, like, if you were to do max attack using vitamins, and then max speed, or max whatever I said, using vitamins, and you actually use 26, then you would actually not be able to use any points left in the into the speed. You would actually only have 1 left, and then you would just not be able to actually get a stat point for it. And in the previous generations, you actually had to you'd have to, what's it called? You'd have to actually, like, be careful about your training and things like that. I haven't been keeping track of how many Squabbits we've been defeating here. Let's see how many we've done so far. We've done 10, and we need 14? Yeah, we need 14. So by wasted, you just mean part of the vitamins wasted? Yeah, that's what I meant by it. Like, you're not getting your full money's worth after buying the vitamin, but I feel like, you know, there's so many ways to make lots of money really quickly in this game that... Oh, they got away. That's the worst. That's the one problem with Squabbit, is that they run away from you. But to be honest, they really should run away. Like, I've literally been going through massacring them for hours and hours of in-game time. Like, there's so many Pokemon of mine that I always do max HP. Even if a Squabbit is running away from you, if you get into a battle, then they stop running away from you. I don't know what this means. I don't play Pokemon. Do you play, like, Pokemon at all, or do you mean that you don't play a competitive Pokemon? Because this whole stream has basically been dedicated to teaching from beginning to end how to make a Pokemon competitive. Well, I mean, I didn't talk about, like, movesets, like how to choose what moves are good, and, like, any sort of battle content. But, you know, that stuff, that's, like, the easy stuff. Technically, that is actually the easy part in terms of, like, just learning, because all you have to do is just play. If you play more, then you'll basically figure out what's good, and someone can just tell you, oh yeah, these moves are good, these moves are bad. But even if they tell you, like, oh, here's the stat distribution that you actually want to have for this particular Pokemon, and you want these natures, even knowing that those things are good, you have to actually know how to do it. So I would say that this is the important stuff. This is like... Oh wait, we were actually done with HP. That was number 15. That was the wasted rapid spin. I have Pokemon but don't play? Okay. So that was HP that we just did. And just double checking, this is supposed to be max special defense, so power band. And we need 14 Nickets now. Pokemon is like so difficult. Like, in a way, it's kind of like, it's actually more complicated than chess, I would say. Because, like, you know, chess is, you could almost solve chess, but with Pokemon there's like randomness through like sleep and things like that. So yeah, I really enjoy Pokemon. The thing I like about Pokemon as well is the fact that like literally anyone can do it. Like I could hand a child my team and then like tell them what to do turn by turn, and then they could do it. And then I can explain to a child, these are the basics of Pokemon battling. Here's a good team. And then that child could like do well with all that because it doesn't take any like motor function. So like in a game like Smash, you could like know a lot about Super Smash Brothers. Like for example, take myself for example. I know a lot about Super Smash Brothers. I am way more knowledgeable about Smash compared to my skill level in Smash. It's like my fingers are slow, and like my decision making in the moment can be poor at times. And I crumble under like hyper offense. But in Pokemon, like it doesn't matter how slow my fingers are because I have a minute to make a decision. It really just comes down to me reading my opponent, which is something that you still do in Smash, but like there's no longer a physical requirement of like execution. There's no execution requirement for it. And that's one thing I really like about Pokemon competitively. The only problem with Pokemon is honestly the time that it takes to like get good in Pokemon, like building a team, is not very interesting. Like this portion of the thing, like all of this that I'm doing right now is the boring stuff that you need to do in order to have like interesting gameplay. Which is why a lot of people turn to Pokemon Showdown, which is basically like, you know, someone basically just plugged in all the stats and all the move interactions into a computer, and then like uploaded some JPEGs, and now you can play quote-unquote Pokemon online with no effort. It's just like build a team, and you know, just have a go at it. No effort required. So Showdown has its merits, you know. It cuts out all the boring stuff, but at the same time, like, I feel like to some degree, effort is kind of the important part. Showdown is better though. I mean, it's better in terms of like, if you want to find a match quickly, and it's better because it has a built-in calculator. I don't know if that's even better either, because having a calculator like handed to you is another thing where it's like, well, some of the skill at a top level is knowing your damage formulas and like knowing your damage rolls and like knowing what you can take and what you can't take. Oh, better for battling. Oh, for sure, yeah, because like it doesn't take the time, like all the stuff that I'm doing here. We just spent 3 hours building, just Eevee training a good Pokemon with the right nature, when I can just go in and like move a couple of sliders into Showdown, and it's like it just works. And like if I'm battling in Showdown and I'm like, oh, you know what, actually this Pokemon isn't as good as I thought it was, I need to invest a little bit more into special defense so I can get, you know, 3-shot instead of 2-shot by something. You can just like move the slider around and just like do that, and then it's so easy to just adjust your Pokemon on the fly. and then the next battle is already ready with the next thing, compared to actually playing the game where you actually need to erase some of its EVs using berries, and then you have to retrain it in the thing that you actually want. So it's like, it's more accessible, is what I should say. Like, Pokemon Showdown is more accessible. It's free. Anyone can just like go to showdown.com right now and build a team and then immediately start playing. And that's a great thing. You want games to be accessible. But when it comes to like taking pride in the what you've done with the Pokemon that you've built, I feel like I couldn't actually be proud of something that were that easy. You know, even if I were winning games on Showdown with this team, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. Like, if it didn't work, then I would just make a better team and it would be easy. As opposed to here, where like if I make this team and I put in all these hours, it's been hours and hours. Like, maybe I probably put like about 5 hours into building this team. If it didn't work out, I would probably just keep on playing it and just be like, you know what, this team is bad, but if I'm better with this team, then like I'll just eventually win, and maybe I'll just need to learn this team better, because like I'm not going to go through the effort of making more Pokemon. I think we're done with special defense as well now. I haven't really been keeping count. We have a little bit more special defense that we need. We got down to... we had 40 before. We got down to 25, so we'll be done when we get down to 11. Zigzagoon is speed, by the way, and so is Rookity, in case anyone was wondering. So we have 3 more after this. The good thing about Squabbit is that they run away. So like if you have like a field full of Squabbit, you can just whistle and they'll all just run away, and then it just respawns another patch of grass. I know that when I was training HP, I was like, oh, the one bad thing about Squabbit is that they run away. But when you're not training HP, Squabbit's the best thing because you can just get rid of more of them. One more after this. I'm actually going to do what's called a pro gamer move here. We're actually not going to fight one more Nickit. What we're going to do instead is we're going to keep the special defense bracer on, and we're going to fight 4. We're going to fight 2, actually. We're going to fight 2 Zigzagoon or Rookidis, because we have Poke Rest, so fighting 1 Rookidee gives us 2 points, fighting 2 gives us 4 points, which is enough. And in the meantime, we've gotten 32 what's it called? We've gotten 32 special defense points, which is actually 64 because we have Poke Rest. Wait, no, it's actually 32 because we've actually gotten 16 and it doubled to 32. So now instead of fighting one more Nickit and then 2 more Rookidees, we finished it in just 2. If I were like really trying, I could probably come up with a formula to actually optimize this thing or these things. But now we're actually done with Vaporeon. Oops. They're at max stats, but they're actually not max Eevee'd yet because the maximum number of total points that you can have is 510. And right now we're at 510 is the total number of points that actually matter. But there's an extra 2 points that don't matter, that you can't actually use to increase any stat. So we're going to fight one more Rookidee just so we can get the effort badge at the end, because I like having the effort badge. Wow, I never would think that you would return to this game. We got the DLC coming out in 2 weeks, so we gotta get ready. But not that we gotta get ready, we have to... I want to finish the team that I built for the Isle of Armor before we do the Crown Tundra. Now we're done with this Pokemon. And we can go to... Hammerlock. And get our effort badge. Technically, we could also train our Snorlax at this point, but I don't want to have the stream go longer than is welcome. Like, I've recently been watching this guy, Standard X Plays. He's kind of a small-time streamer, but, like, they're going up there. And at the end of their stream, they always have these, like, streams that are a little too short. And he says, like, always leave them wanting more. So we could train the Snorlax at this point, and we could also give everyone the move pools that we need in order to actually finish these Pokemon. But I'm going to take some time now. We're going to eat. We'll be back for some Smash in a bit. And then tonight, if I'm not lazy, I will edit down this stream and actually, like, jump around and, like, make it so it's a condensed, like, here's how to make a competitive Pokemon from start to finish. I wish that I had put stream markers throughout when I was talking about this and that, but I didn't, so I'll actually have to literally jump around and see when I was talking in order to figure out, like, when I actually said something important. So that's sad for me. But, you know, in the future, I'll have an editor. Like, 10 years from now, I'll have an editor, and that'll be their job. But for now, look forward to a how to make a competitive Pokemon guide. And it'll probably be like a 30-minute video. So be sure to like the stream if you enjoyed it today. I look forward to actually battling you guys in the future with this super ultra bulky team. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. For me, at least. It'll be terrible for you guys because my Pokemon will never die. And I'll be back with Smash in a couple of hours. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll see you next time. Oh, wait. We're streaming Pokemon. Is there someone that I'm subscribed to that's streaming Pokemon right now? We could actually raid them. Let's see. I don't think anyone streams Pokemon anymore. People are more of like a, everyone's streaming like 3D All-Stars and things like that these days. Dragon Dance is actually streaming Pokemon, but they're shiny hunting. Yeah, I mean, I'll send you 2 more Pokemon content if you want. It's not an official raid. It's unofficial. Here's a guy that I watch for their afternoon Smash content. I probably actually won't even watch them myself right now because I need to eat. We'll be back with Smash. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more Pokemon and Smash content from me, and I'll see you next time.